I am certainly not a pope. I cannot be. I am not that serious a man. I am not that religious either. I am very ordinary. To be a pope, one needs to be very extraordinary. As far as charisma is concerned, I have none. I am just as ordinary as anybody else in the world. The whole idea of charisma is anti-human. It divides people. And the whole strategy of creating a charisma is nothing but the process of conditioning. If you go to see a Jaina naked monk, you will not see any charisma, because you are not conditioned for that. You will simply see an ugly, disgusting looking person pale, ill at ease, eyes almost dead, no intelligence on the face. The whole body shrunken. Yes, one thing will be big, the belly. Because the Jaina monk eats only once a day. So he has to eat too much. The whole figure of a Jaina monk, if you are not conditioned by Jaina ideas, will appear to you like a caricature, a cartoon. But to the Jainas themselves, there is charisma, great charisma. Jaina monks, particularly the Digambara Jaina monks who live naked, every year tear their hairs with their own hands. If you look at it, it will look insane, ugly, violent. But the Jainas watch with great respect. Something of immense value is happening. The man is simply tearing his hairs. You must have seen your wife sometimes in anger. Or if you go to a mad asylum, you will find people tearing their hairs. Just angry at themselves, violent at themselves, repressed anger and nothing else. But to the Jaina mind, it is charismatic. What sacrifice! If you go to a Christian church and you see the cross, if you are conditioned by Christianity, then you will not see that death is being worshipped. Cross represents death. There is every possibility. If Jesus was not crucified, there would have been no Christianity at all. It is not Jesus who has dominated the Christian mind. It is the cross. Hence, I don't call Christianity Christianity, I call it Crossianity. The cross simply symbolizes death, suicide. It is not a life affirmative symbol. But to the Christian, it symbolizes great sacrifice of Jesus for the whole of humanity. Charisma is created by a certain condition. The same Pope was not charismatic 2 years before. Suddenly he has become charismatic. What miracle has happened? Just because he is chosen to be the Pope, he has been voted to be the Pope and he has become charismatic. Now, millions of people are impressed by him. Nobody would have cared. The same man has been there for more than 60 years. Nobody had ever bothered about him. This is just a created illusion. The same man, if he becomes the president of a country, he starts having a charisma. And once he is no more a president, he loses all charisma. Then he is nobody. When the revolution in Russia happened, there was a very charismatic leader, Kerensky. He was the prime minister of Russia. In revolution, he escaped. And for 50 years, nothing was heard about that charismatic leader. People had completely forgotten about him. And he was the most important man before Lenin in Russia. He had dominated the whole scene. After 50 years, he died in New York as a grocer. When he died, it was found that he is Kerensky and nobody else. And for 50 years, he was tending a grocery store. And nobody ever thought of him as charismatic. I am not charismatic. And I don't believe in all such nonsensical things. I exalt the simple, the unconditioned, the innocent, the ordinary. And I want all categories to be dissolved. The category of the sinner and the saint, the unholy and the holy, the profane and the sacred, the moral and the immoral. I want to dissolve all categories. Man is simply man. So I would not like to be compared with the Pope. In fact, I don't like any comparison at all. Because comparison is basically a wrong approach. I am myself. I don't want to be compared even with Jesus. What to say about with Pope? I don't want to be compared with Buddha, with Zarathustra, with Laos. Because all comparison is basically wrong. Lao Tzu is Lao Tzu. I am. There is no question of comparison. How can you compare a rose bush with a cedar of Lebanon? There is no question of comparison. How can you compare the lotus with the marigolds? In fact, two lotus flowers cannot be even compared with each other. They have their own uniqueness. But we have been living with this idea of comparison for centuries. We always compare. We always put people into categories. We always put people into boxes. Who is who? To what category one belongs? My whole effort here is to dissolve all categories and to declare the uniqueness of the individual. Never compare me with anybody else. I am simply myself. Good, bad, holy, unholy, whatsoever I am simply myself. The very idea is disgusting to be compared with anybody else.